Hey guys, welcome to One Wayfinder. I'm One Wayfinder and you can be too. Today I want to share with you a little bit about something that I realized along my way on my journey to becoming more authentic and just sort of having a better experience on this planet. Was just realizing how much energy plays a role in our lives. And you'll find out a little bit more about what I mean about that. But the backdrop for me personally is that I started to wonder, I was always interested in um, science. I was a biochemistry major, and I started to realize that we are more energetic beings than maybe we've been taught along the way that we are, right? So I've brought this up to people, and there have been people who have done like eye roll, or, I can sense the eye roll. And I'm like, hey, whatever, whatever floats your boat. But I have noticed that understanding energy and energetic processes within yourself and within relationships has been really helpful along my journey. So I wanted to share some of that with you. Anyway, I know in previous videos I've shared a bit about Pedro, and not for nothing. I've named Pedro, but this is really just an example of me. I've found that so when someone says you're calm, you're tempered, you manage things well, and you know that that hasn't always been the case, you realize you've come some kind of way. And I really have um, become comfortable feeling like, I'm actually a bit more of a boss than I used to be. There's always work to do, right? But anyway, so if this is me when life happens, I might end up weebling and wobbling and I don't fall down. Or, and I don't know if you can see this, he's actually a magnetic, so this is how this ends up working to make my point. But anyway, he might end up on just one foot, but he still doesn't fall off of this cylinder. And that's because Pedro, or me, or you, has done his work on his journey of both self awareness and also awareness. I guess self awareness has to do with your awareness of how you interact with others, too. But anyway, you can also understand energy and watch how other people interact with other people as well. So it's not just self awareness, it's situational awareness and those sorts of things. And it's been very helpful. So, being the science nerd that I am, I saw this thing. I'm going to call it Newton's thingy, um, because I thought that this actually would be a great way to for people who like visuals, to kind of explain what I mean. In part, I'll probably use this in a lot of different ways. I've had a lot of ideas around this, but I'll start with just recognizing the and maybe you guys remember this from science class or not, but the energy, the way that these balls actually work, and the reason why they pop back and forth off of each other is because of an energy exchange. Okay. So when this ball starts rolling, so guys, someday I am literally going to have the coolest studio, and I am going to, oops, got that baby going. I'm going to have a great background. It's going to be so fun. I'm having so much fun with this. I'm just going to blow this up. All right. Cause I'm loving it. Anyway, so if you maybe remember from science class or not, you might remember that this ball up here has, let's say, maximum potential energy, like the potential to do work, right? And the energy that it has is maximum, we'll say here, right? So once it goes into motion, it has a balance of both potential energy and kinetic energy. But that amount of energy stays the same outside of some of the opposing forces, which might include friction, blah, 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 blah. But we won't get into that. Okay, so, and air resistance is friction. Okay, so anyway, this ball, watch what happens when this ball drops. You guys know, you have seen this thing. Oh, someday I'm going to have multiple cameras too. And I'm also going to be able to video edit so I can do this and show you and then pop back onto the screen. Okay. It's all going to happen. I'm so excited about it. So you can see here that when I released this ball, it transferred energy to the next ball, to the next ball, all the way to the end. And then that ball popped out, and it's just an energy transfer back and forth, right? Until the balls stop, because again, because of those opposing forces, not because that the energy is gone, let's say, because energy can neither be created nor destroyed. That's a different subject. But again, let's just pretend now, I'm going to move this ball, and let's pretend this is you, okay? Let's pretend you're reacting versus responding in a situation with people, okay? All right, here we go. It would work better if I had a table and that sort of thing. Okay, now you can see you can totally impact all of these people, and the more extreme your reaction, the more extreme their reaction is, the more energy that has to get processed back and forth between these people. Okay, you guys get the point. Now, as you go along your journey, when you have things happen to you or things happen around you, it's so fun. It's actually fun. You really do begin to feel like a boss. You're like an energetic boss. It's so cool. So someone might come at you and they're just max. They're just going, they're like at their max. And you like take it and you like, you might have that max energy like feel, but you don't respond with that max energy response. Okay. So you might be more like, you might become more like, let's say Pedro's in the middle because watch, he doesn't really get too out of control. Kind of there. He knows it's happening, but he's not overly responding. This is just for, uh, visuals, if you will. Pedro can also completely remove his energy if he wants, and he may choose to do that because Pedro may find that whatever is happening here is not something that Pedro needs to get involved in, or it's something that Pedro decides that he does not want to get involved in. Again, Pedro is me. We're both bosses. Okay. So, that being said, you might think about while you're on your journey and you're doing the different things that we talked about. We've talked about neutral observation, right? Where you completely pull yourself and your energy out of not only what you have, that you're by completely pulling your energy out, I mean completely pulling your energy out. So there may be things that go on in your space when you go into neutral observation that you just cannot completely pull your energy out of, right? It may be something having to do with your kids or what have you, but you manage your energy. In neutral observation, you can watch others react and completely pull your energy out, and nothing is good or bad. You don't label it, you just pull it in as a data point. And that's another great way to begin to manage your own energy and begin to manage your own self awareness. That also, as I previously mentioned, seemed to give me really clean data points, so to speak, about what was going on in the situation that I would not have gotten had I gotten involved in the situation. So, the other thing about energy is that not only is it about people and the people that are around you or the people that you have to be engaged with, whether it's at work or what have you, but it's also about what you let into your mental space, right? Because really, the excuse me, the war, if there is one, is, I mean, really, it's for your mind, right? Like everything, what can capture your attention? Is it a show on Netflix? Is it the news? Is it this? Is it that? And what are those inputs? And one of the biggest things I would strongly recommend if you're choosing to sort of begin a journey is to really it's turn off the TV. Turn off the TV and really think about what else you let into your space. Um, Music, podcasts, whatever it is, and really think about, is this something that's positively affecting your mental or negatively, and why? You can then go through that evaluation and then see, is it something that I really want to have in my mental space at all? Now, I don't watch the news, and some people will say, "Well, how can you?" I don't read newspapers, I don't any of that, and they go, and I used to. I used to. And people will say, well, how can you do that? And I'm like, because I always know that whatever I need to know is going to make it into my space if I need to know it. I just believe that. And it's been the case. Now, back in 2020, I was not watching the news. And guess what? Nothing was different when I found out what was going on in the world. It didn't change. It did not change the fact that I was going to find out about it. So you don't have to worry. You can try this out yourself. Don't take any of my word for anything. That's why I'm offering for you to do this and try this. But you'll probably find out that you don't have to watch the news, because a lot of the news ends up being fear factor type stuff, and it really impacts your energy, and it impacts whether you're able to choose a response or whether you react. Okay? All right. So put that down for a second. I hope that that's helped somebody. I have found, I need to stop these balls. I have found that one of the best parts about being aware of the energy that I am putting out into the world, or whether I actually choose to withdraw my energy, is not only super empowering, but I've learned a lot about myself, and I've learned a lot about the fact that I can boss up, and I am bossing up when it comes to managing the relationships in my life. And there are people out there who will poke the bear, and they will try to get you going. And there are people who, what now, watch. Again, go into neutral observation if you need to. Watch. They may even be your family members. A lot of them are. They may even be your family members, and they may really like to see you get angry. And I have to say, it's been so fun actually pulling my energy out, because some of those people believed that I was the reason for their chaos. And, you know, they found out that I'm not involved with you anymore and your life still feels chaotic. And it's probably because they're not doing any of this self-awareness work. They're not engaged in a journey. And so they're going to blame somebody. It's going to be you, it's going to be me, whoever. They're going to blame somebody for their chaos until they actually do their own work. So, I don't know. That's been my experience, and I just have been happy to be able to say, you know what, fuck around and find out, because I will pull my energy out. I will not engage, and I'm not going to be someone that I'm not proud of because you want a response from me. Because I can choose a reaction, which I've done. But again, if you violate my boundaries, which you've done, then I will pull my energy out, which I've done, and you will not have that anymore, and you will not drain me. And I get to be peaceful and harmonious within myself, which emanates to all of the people around me with whom I still have relationships with, who value me and I value them. So it's amazing. All right. I love you guys. I hope this has been helpful for someone. And I can't wait to get back to this. And oh, yeah, please, I'll add more to this Newton's thingy. And please hit like and subscribe again. I'm going to just start to ask people to do that, in case this helps anybody. All right. Thanks so much. Love you. Bye.